Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of our podcast, Beneath Your Skin. Wow, people, I almost forgot the name of our podcast, and we are only at the 40-something episode. Let's call help, because I need it. This is Gaia, going totally out of her mind, more or less, still not feeling Christmassy at all. Hello, my dear, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. It's English weather is being a pain. I'm feeling more Christmassy, but then I work in a school. So we've been writing Christmas cards and watching Christmas movies and making Christmas decorations and Christmas cookies. So it's a bit more full on Christmas and watching Panto. So yeah, it's quite full on Christmas. It's the last week of term. So
it sounds like someone threw Christmas right at you. I mean, you have to feel Christmassy, otherwise you have no other choice.
There is no other
you
choice.
Feel Christmas, you feel Christmassy or you feel Christmassy. I mean, yeah. That's your choice. Okay, perfect. Today, we are going to talk about a movie called The Bride of Chucky. Yes, people. He's luckier than many of us because he found someone who wanted to marry him. The little doll, the little psycho murdering doll, has a bride. And like Frankenstein's bride, I can tell you it didn't end well. But at least Frankenstein's wife didn't do what Chucky was able to do. And yeah, I think many of you watched the movie already, but you know what I'm talking about. I mean, yes, at the end of the movie, there is a psycho killing baby doll, and no, not the fancy lingerie women wear for a nice evening with their partner. No, literally, a psycho murdering baby doll, a doll that is a baby with teeth, very sharp teeth. The movie wasn't that great. I adore Psycho Chucky, and now he has a psycho girlfriend who is going to be his wife, and they are amazing. And of course, people, you know me, I am a fangirl. Yes, the voice, Brad Dourif voice. Yes, that's perfect. That's exactly what I wanted to hear and listen for 1 hour and a half. Yes, but also this movie is full of homages. Since the first scene, we can see a lot of things belonging to icons of horror movies. I mean, we can quote Michael Myers from Halloween, and then we see Leatherface.
Yeah, it's Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but the character is Leatherface.
That's I only remember the Italian title, and it has nothing to do with the original one. So yeah, let's go on. Do you want to know how that movie is called? Non aprite quella porta. Nothing to do with the original title. The title in Italian can be translated, "Don't open that door."
But it's the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's set in Texas. There's a massacre with a chainsaw.
Non aprite quella porta. Don't open that door.
Don't open the door. There's a load of massacring chainsaw killers.
Exactly.
Oh, there we go.
Non aprite quella porta. Don't open that door. And the original title would be translated in Italian like Il massacro texano con la sega elettrica. No, it doesn't sound good in Italian. So yeah, don't open the door. Come on. I mean, don't open the door. And then we can see an homage to Friday 13. And then we go on and we can see The Bride of Frankenstein. Another movie is The Invisible Man. And at some point, when she binged from channel to channel on her old TV, we can hear the ever-present and so well-known soundtrack from Murder, She Wrote. So yeah, the full movie is an homage to something else.
And also the best one, when Chucky looks at the guy with all the nails going, where have I seen that before? And I'm like, oh, Hellraiser. Hellraiser's one of my favourites.
And then, who the hell is Martha Stewart?
Oh, good old Martha Stewart.
Chucky. He has lost 10 years of life burning in hell and trying to come back as a psycho doll. And yes, he doesn't know who Martha Stewart is. But thank God his girlfriend, soon to be wife, filled the dots for him. Yes, come on, the two dolls, they were so good. So good. My God. Everything else, not so much. I mean, I couldn't stand a single human being in the story. And I realized that the young girl is Catherine Hagel.
Hegel, yeah.
And I really didn't like her in Grey's Anatomy. So, yeah, I was like, oh, God. Well,
Oh, I I absolutely frigging loved this film. It was so bad. It was so brilliant. I was just like, oh my goodness, I found myself literally laughing out loud. The jokes are funny. The one-liners are hilarious. The chemistry between Chucky and Tiffany is brilliant. Their bickering is so well crafted. Jennifer Tilly, who does Tiffany's voice, I thought she was amazing. I mean, Brad Dourif is always amazing. We've had 3 movies to say he steals all the scenes. But for them to introduce a character that could hold her own against Chucky, both in psychotics, but also kind of like voice performance, but also never totally stole the spotlight or stole the spotlights when she was supposed to, but was able to play second fiddle when she was supposed to. To get the balance right was so hard because obviously the film is Bride of Chucky, so it's got to be centered on her. But you don't want her to come. You don't want her to be cooler or more murderous or more funny or more charismatic than Chucky. So you've got to get the balance right of the fact that she's just as murderous and cool and like mental as Chucky, but then she's also still got some humanity in her so that Chucky can still be the grade A like asshole serial killing murder. And the film did the one thing perfectly right with how it played the story. It made Tiffany and Chucky the main characters, and all the humans were just bit parts in their story. They were just like, so they didn't make it like about the humans. The humans seemed like secondary to this weird murderous squabble of 2 dolls that kept meeting people going, she's a dick, I'm gonna murder her. He's a dick, I'm gonna murder her. Look how, and it was just like, oh my god, it was like a murder road trip with, and I actually found it hilarious that the 2 teenagers were just like, kept thinking the other one was a murderer, and Tiffany and Chucky are just in the back of the car going, because, and I love that dynamic. I love that they didn't realize like why people, and just kept thinking that the other one, they were on a road trip with a different serial, and yeah, they were on a road trip with serial killers. They just thought it was the other part of the couple, and I loved how they played on that for ages before like Chucky and Tiffany were just like, right, the jig is up. We're just gonna go balls deep shooting out like police cars and kidnapping, and it went big in that sequelitis way, but it did it right.
yeah.
It felt more weight to it, more funny. It was better than 2 or 3. I'm just like, I don't know, I just loved it. I was just like sitting there going, this is so redonkulous. This is so brilliant. And the deaths were good and they were funny and they weren't too grotesque, but they were harsh and jarring, and Chucky's new like look was brilliant. And you know I love the animatronics and the puppetry, but the facial expressions, the bit when she's dolls herself all up and she comes out in the wedding dress and the leather jacket and the makeup, and you see Chucky looking at her, and he looks like a dude that is staring at a girl going, holy shit, that's one fit girl. Like, this the way he does his eyebrow, and he's like, mm-hmm. And the way she's just smoking her cigarette going, yeah, I'm looking hot. And it's just like, they're freaking dolls, but they have got more facial expression and more chemistry than the main freaking teenage couple that were following around. I'm like, they had no chemistry. They were just a couple of teenage dingbats. But it was fine because, like, they were essentially the puppets of this freaking storyline. They were just there for a bit of human element and to add some chaos and to remind Tiffany a bit about her humanity. Oh, she's so good. She was so good. She was just oh, the knife. That's so, so early 90s, so 80s. Oh my God. Like, no, and Chucky's like, getting like, what do you mean my knife's not good enough? And she's like, oh, a real man will like be more creative. And it was just like, oh my God, their chemistry was amazing. Just
predictable.
Yes, I loved it. I loved it. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so funny. I wasn't expecting it. I was expecting it to be so bad it's funny. I wasn't expecting the actual writing to be quite so funny. But it was. It was brilliantly. It was well written. It was a riot.
For sure. This is a lot better than the last one we watched.
Oh God, yeah.
And thank God Andy is not in this one, because really, how long can you actually torment a person? So I liked that they changed the storyline and they let go of the previous movies. The two dolls, they were so good and I was enjoying them so much. And then at some point they had sex and I was like, no.
Oh, yeah, that was really creepy. I was like, oh no, I don't need to. I know it's behind a curtain, so you just see like shadows going at it, but it's still two dolls having sex on screen and you're like, ah. Although I did like, they're like, wait. Like, you need to put a rubber on. And he's like, look at me. I'm nothing but rubber.
Indeed. But we find out at the end that Tiffany was right to worry about him not wearing a rubber. Oh, yes, absolutely. But people, if you plan on having sex with a psycho doll, make sure you use a rubber.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't want a little alien something.
Yeah, demon babies. That properly, like, I love the cop's reaction though. He's just like, his reaction to everything when he finds them and he's like, right, like, put your weapon down. Then he looks in the grave and he sees Chucky and he's just like, huh? Like, and he's just like, so like, what's going on? And then when the baby like comes out and he's just like, ah! And I'm like, that is the right reaction. It doesn't matter if you're a hardened police officer. That is exactly the right reaction to watching a doll give birth to a demon baby doll that then flies in your face. Oh,
yes, absolutely. And finally, someone having the right reaction to, no one is going to believe this, right? And yes, no one will believe any of these. And yes, I think I found this hilarious, the coffin, and there are a lot of rats. People, okay. I love the effect and the idea, but no, that's not exactly what happens when you open a 10 years old coffin. You don't find rats, even because rats don't create themselves from nothing. I mean, yeah.
So how would they have got in there? Like, really?
Not only that, and how do they breathe inside the coffin? So, no, but I like the idea, I like the effect, but no, poor rats. It's not a good idea.
It was just so hilarious and very quotable and very fun. It also makes you very excited for the rest of them because I want to know what's going to happen next. I want to see. I'm desperate to know how this weird ass family of demonic possessed dolls are going to like do what they're going to do.
I mean, the next movie is called The Seed of Chucky.
So yeah, we're gonna get our demon doll baby. I'm like, who even thought of this? Like, when they were going, right, we need to make a new Child's Play film. I know, we're going to add a female doll. Okay, yeah. I know, they're going to bang and give birth. What? Wait a minute. Like, that's a leap. Like, that is a leap. Like, from like going, there's a female one.
Mm, for whoever played the Assassin's Creed games, this is exactly a leap of faith.
Yes.
Yes, your character jumps from whenever, and we all know that any other person would crash and die. Your character doesn't. Yeah, that's exactly the same. You believe in your idea, you believe in what you are going to write, and somehow it worked. It
Yeah.
really did. It was so fun. It was better than the third movie, a
Yeah.
lot better than the third movie. And yeah, it worked. It was
It,
great.
it was
It
it
was
was
so fun.
just
I was laughing alone like a crazy person.
yeah. Yeah, I was expecting it to be like kind of a bit of trash cinema and like so bad it's good, rather than actually like the jokes they wrote into it were funny and it was self-aware, so it poked fun at itself, like the whole voodoo for dummies. I was loving
Yeah,
that. It knows its premise is redonkulous and it lent into it. It knows it's just like it's silly. So it lent into it. But at the same time, the kills were good. There were some harsh murders, there were some fun murders, there were some clever murders. And again, the film was self-aware to kind of go predictable and change up the murders and change up the murder weapons and like it knew how to reinvent at the same time kind of still homage its original roots and oh, Brad Dourif's laugh, that Chucky laugh is just he's so good. He's so good. And
yes,
oh yeah, and I'm so glad that they are still, even though it's like been 10 years on, still doing all the puppeteering and the animatronics, and there's no CGI. That the only CGI in this movie was when the shards of glass fell on that stupid couple, and that was it. All of the rest of it was was puppetry and practical effects. The whole thing filled with practical effects, and so good because it,
they
yeah, test of time, perfectly done.
they didn't have the lightning that usually were created with the CGI. So yeah,
Yeah,
it was perfect. It was good. It was watchable. It was full of moment when you laugh, and really you wanted to watch it until the end, and it's like always 1 hour and a half, and it passed like this
yeah.
literally. It was good. It was good. I'm so glad that we decided to watch this. I was very, very, very worried about this one, and I'm worried about the next one for sure. But I will go into watching it with an open mind, and hopefully, I'm not going to regret my decision.
If they can keep this up, then we're going to be fine. Because this one was how you update the sequel and bring it forward and move it about. And oh, I just had a good time watching it.
We watched such ugly movies for
Yeah,
this podcast. This one is not ugly at all.
no, and it's still completely on. It's still about possession because they are definitely possessed dolls. But I would take this over Annabelle any day.
Oh my god. I mean, even because it makes sense if someone decided to give a child the good guy doll.
Yeah,
It makes sense. That's a kind of doll you really want to gift your child. Annabelle is ugly. It's too big and is ugly.
yeah,
Come on. And then the mothers in those franchise, they were crazy because the one who enters in the shop, oh my god, I looked everywhere for one of those dolls. My child wants it so bad.
no.
Madam, what's your child problem exactly, and why do you hate her so much?
Well, it's the same like with Sabrina, and they're like, "Oh my god, the doll's so cute." No, it's not. Oh my goodness, I can't believe like Sabrina's being mass produced because people love her so much. Like the doll is ugly and terrifying. Like the good guy doll was a cute, lovely doll before it got possessed, and like Tiffany's like bride doll was a lovely looking doll. Absolutely lovely. And it was just the animatronics on her face that made her look. And then she gave herself a makeover and looked amazing.
Oh yeah, the goth version of the bride doll was perfect.
Yeah.
But yes, can you imagine? You see an ugly doll like Sabrina, and then the next thing you know, Sabrina was being mass produced. Why? And the other question in that damn movie was, Madam, the first Sabrina was possessed by the spirit, the angry spirit of your daughter, and now you are gifting another Sabrina to your niece. I mean, you don't
Yeah.
see what could go wrong with that decision, really?
No.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no. Those films. And those films are like 2 hours 20. They are so damn long and boring compared to like Child's Play that just does what it needs to do and gets on with it and gives you wonderful mayhem. Oh, he's definitely one of the best like horror characters out there. It's just so good.
It was lovely. It was fun. People, if you didn't watch the movie, go watching it because it's amazing. And yeah, you will have fun for 1 hour and a half.
Yeah. It doesn't need brains. It's not like it's just good old fashioned horror fun. Like it's what you
Yeah,
want. It's what you want from a Child's Play movie, especially one called Bride of Chucky. They did it so well.
exactly. So if Zoe doesn't have anything else to say,
Nope, I'm good.
thank you for listening, and please stay with us until next time when we are going to tell you all about the seed of Chucky.
It's always a pleasure, Gaia. And yeah, I think we can't wait for the next one. I can't, yeah, just because of your reaction and your anticipation, I'm looking forward to recording the next episode. But for now, bye, bye.